Hello, everybody. Thanks for waiting. I'm always a few minutes late to these live streams. It seems like there's always a technical issue, but we get it fixed and we get on to the review, which I'm actually pretty excited about today because this is a brand new bike. It was just launched on Saturday of last week, and thankfully we were already able to get one of the bikes from Aventon or Aventon. I actually didn't look up how other people pronounce it, but that's the bike that we're redoing. This is called the Aventure model. So it's like adventure, but missing the D. So this is, like I said, I'm excited about it because the bike looks really good. There's a dog. Last week, this is not a joke, standing out here with customers and a full feathered peacock went strolling through the yard. I don't know where these animals come from some days. Point is, this bike looks really good. You will get to see me ride it for the first time on camera today because I haven't actually ridden it. So this is a real genuine review. I haven't ridden the bike. I basically, all I know is what I see right behind me. I am going to answer questions about the bike, of course, and I have those on the computer right behind the camera. Let me scoot this back just a hair. There we go. And let's see what those questions are or comments. Awesome. There we go. Relax. It's Friday. And okay. So I'll get back to make sure there's not any questions about the bike in a moment. But let's dig up some specs because this is brand new. Most of you probably haven't heard of it. Obviously, this is the step-through version of the bike. And there are two different versions. There's the step through, and then there is a step over. And there are also two different sizes of the bike. And this is really interesting. It just, when I first saw it from the side, it just looked like it was red with their logo on it. But on the top here, if I kind of turn it towards the camera, you kind of have this like off-white color right here, this trim piece, and it kind of goes down the side of the bike right here. Actually looks really good. It looks like an old classic car or something, the way they've done the paint on the bike. I really like it. For those that are into that sort of thing, it would look awesome with some like white wall tires. I'm just going to throw that out there. If they hear that and people start bugging them about it, I'll throw that out there. So the red is the color I opted for. There's also a pretty cool looking green color. Oh, and I said two sizes, but now that I'm looking at their website, it says small, medium, large. Maybe it was small, medium, large in the step over, and maybe the step through is different. Now I'm going to have to check. Aventure step through. Let's make sure I'm looking at the right bike and I give you the right specifications. Here we go. Okay, so the step over, 3 different sizes. Step through, 2 different sizes. They call it a small medium and a medium large. So you either get the small medium size or the medium large size. And this one right here is the medium large. So I don't know how the small medium bike fits. I haven't seen it in person. But this one, when you're on it, feels like most of the other 26-inch bikes. Yes, I've sat on the bike, but I haven't really gotten a chance to ride it. I haven't gone up and down the street. I haven't felt the power. Haven't done any of those things yet. And it looks like this one is still available. So that's good. If somebody's looking for a hub motor step-through bike, it's actually in stock. So that's pretty cool. $18.99 is the price. Let me run through the specs. This is a Bafang hub motor, and I am looking at this. So this is actually, that's pretty cool. This is the newer version of the Bafang hub motor. And you can tell by where the motor cable exits the bike. On most of the older Bafang motors, and I say older, but they're still in use on tens of thousands, actually probably hundreds of thousands of bikes. The motor cable exits out on the right, on the derailleur side. This one, it exits out on the left. Which is actually good because it makes it a lot easier to change things like the freewheel and stuff like that. Which, now that I say that, it is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 speed cassette. This is not a freewheel. For those that don't know the difference, a freewheel is the gear mechanism that screws on and it has the one-way ratcheting piece built into it. A cassette are the gears that slide on and then lock on, and the ratcheting one-way mechanism is built into the hub. That's the difference between those two standards. A cassette is a little bit nicer. That's what this bike has. So that is a good step up. They've actually bumped up the motor to a newer Bafang version. I'm not sure if it's the same as what Bafang sells as a 1000 watt, but it looks like that from the outside. Well, they do, here we go. Equipped with a powerful 1130 watt, so 1130 watt peak motor and a 720 watt hour battery. So that's pretty cool. This is, in fact, it looks like that newer 1000 watt Bafang motor. Don't know what the controller is like because it's buried inside this beautiful frame somewhere. I don't know where. So good motor, good cassette. I'm liking this so far. Beautiful paint job. And no, they didn't pay me to say anything about this bike. I'm just going to be honest. They did send me the bike, so I am allowed to give it away. Thank you. They did insist that I could keep it if I wanted to, and as tempting as that is, I'd rather give it away because I have plenty of bikes around here. I'm sure one of you would appreciate it a lot more. Now onto the brakes. I have never heard of this brand of hydraulic brake. It says Bengal Eris 3. Never seen that style of brake lever. It is a hydraulic brake. Now that I think about it or notice it, I've never seen those discs either. So generic hydraulic brakes and discs, maybe not generic, but I've never heard of them. So that seems somewhat generic. We will see how they perform in a moment. Let me jump over and see if I can spot some of these questions over here. Headlight above the basket. Yes, check. And Joseph says, mine's coming on the 12th. Awesome. I'll watch it again. Let's see. Are those same fenders that are available in the Bolton store? No, they're definitely not the same fenders. And they feel like a metal fender for anyone who wants to know. They're definitely custom for this bike. They look pretty nice. They have like a custom little bracket to hold it there. These are totally different. I'm going to say the fenders are above average on quality here. So far, just looking at the bike, these are all good things. Brakes, we'll find out in a moment how well they actually work. The display is a color display of some brand that I don't know. I've never seen this. It says model BC280SJH1. No idea what brand of display that is. That means I probably have no idea what brand the controller is, unless they're using a Bafang motor controller, and this is actually a Bafang compatible display. That is a possibility. But yes, it does have a headlight, which I should turn this around. Let's see if we can figure out how to turn the headlight on without any instructions on this thing. There's a button here that either is a headlight or it's a sideways like coffee cup. Hey, look, it's a headlight. I don't know if you can really see that on camera here. Can this tilt a little bit? Yeah, a little bit. That's the headlight. It's visible. It looks like a little LED. I mean, it looks, again, quality. The mount is really nice for it. So I think the detail to the bike is really good. Brightness, it's daylight out here, so it's a little hard to tell. I don't know if I'd be able to see at night on a road with that light. Certainly something you would be seen with. The rack says maximum 20 pounds. Kind of an interesting shape here where it's open on the front. So if you put anything in there, definitely need something to strap it down. Nice head badge on here. I like that. The fork is a Zoom brand, which are not known for being the best. They're okay for the price. So budget fork, front wheel is not a quick release. It is bolted on. So you can see where some of the cost-saving items are, which I would say are the fork, front wheel. The rims, well, that's a little odd. Well, I have to tell you this because I've spotted it, and if I spotted it, you're probably going to spot it. I was going to say the fork, hubs, the front hub particularly, not the rear hub because that's got a great motor in it, look like places maybe that's where they saved some on the cost to keep this under the $2,000 price point. But then I noticed solid rims are typically a little cheaper to produce than rims with cutouts. You put the cutouts in to save weight. Doesn't really matter that much on an e-bike, but that's what they're there for. But funny enough, the front rim and the rear rim are not the same rim, which I can't say that I've ever seen on a production bike. They're both black. They appear to both be about 80 millimeters wide. So same style and everything, just a little bit odd to me that they're not identical. They have a different like texture to them. This one has some like several grooves in it, and the back one just has a couple grooves in it. So a little weird there, not gonna lie. Not a deal breaker because the rest of the bike looks so good, but the frame looks so amazing that to have wheels that are different is a little disappointing to me. I don't know what you guys think about that. You can see Kyle, but not the bike. Well, I do appreciate you for pointing that out. I'm gonna move the bike here. Let's do this here. We can move camera angles here. Let's see. We're gonna scoot down like this. We're gonna scoot out. We're gonna get this bike in close where you can see it. So here is, turn it this way. This is that off-white part I was talking about. Interesting design. I like it. It's a little bit retro looking. Colors are great. Very nice cable management on the frame here as well. There's kind of this fancy custom made, because it has their brand name on it, a little grommet here that the cables come out of. And then for those wondering, like, how does the battery come out? Let's do this. Hopefully nobody gets motion sick here. All right, so if we look at the frame here, very nice. I'm really liking this. But you may notice, like from this side, you're probably thinking, well, the battery's obviously in there, but how does it come out? Usually the batteries would come out underneath right there. It's actually over on the left side. So let's get that angle down a little more, turn the bike around here. Now, again, this is a brand new bike. Haven't even had a chance to ride it. So I haven't popped the battery out yet, but this is, there we go. Get out in the sun a little. This is it right here. You can see the seam right here where the battery comes out. So to turn the bike on, there's a button right here, which when it's in the shade, you probably can't even see it on camera because it's too bright out. But this little button lights up green, which is kind of cool. There's a little spot down here to plug in the charger. I mean, all of these little details are so well done. I can't believe they used a different front rim. But again, those little details all look really good. Kickstand, same kind of kickstand I've seen on other bikes. They're pretty sturdy, but yeah, I mean, it's a cadence sensor bike. So 750 watts, obviously will peak, as they said, more like 1100 watts. We'll find out how well that goes when we give it a ride here. And hydraulic brakes, front suspension fork, all in a $1,900 fat bike. So I like it. My first impressions, try not to knock it over here, are that this looks pretty good. I think the only thing to do at this point, honestly, is go ride it around for a few minutes and see how the performance is. If it matches up to the claims on paper with power. If it does this, I got to get to where you see me. If it does this, this is probably going to be one of the nicer e-bikes that I have reviewed so far. Does the power hold up to the claims? And do the brakes, which I've never heard of or seen, work well? If it can do those two things, then I'm going to say this is a killer deal. This is an awesome bike. So I'm going to tilt the camera down, get it out facing towards the street a little bit. I'm going to hop on it, go test ride it in the parking lot for a couple seconds here, go up this hill right here and see how the power feels. Tell me what you think in the chat. Do you think it's going to perform really well? Do you think it's going to not meet my expectations and be a weakling? The brakes, are they going to be good brakes, average brakes, bad brakes? I don't really know, but I'm going to find out. All right. You should be able to see me from right there. And what are you guys saying? What is the weight rating? It's a good question. I don't know. If Pee-wee had a beach cruiser, he'd definitely own this if he bought an e-bike. That's funny. And range, for the person who's asking about range, as always, is subjective. And I would say with a battery this size, you should be able to go for, 20 miles easy. 30 miles should be no problem as well. If you're pedaling decently, 40 miles. It was a 700 some watt hour battery. So a decent size. Let's see if it's, let me double check that exact capacity that was listed on the website for you. Oh, and there's one thing I forgot to mention that I saw while I was walking around. So a 720 watt hour battery. If you're not familiar with the terms, basically that's like a 48 volt, 15 amp hour, roughly. Now it says it ships as a class 2 e-bike, which means it's going to be limited to 20 miles an hour. But it also says it can be configured to a class 3 with speeds up to 28 miles an hour. So it sounds like they're putting a 20 mile an hour limit on it through the display. And if you want to crank it up to 28, you can. They don't mention anything about cranking it up further than that, which we can always find out. Oh, this is cool. So I told you I wasn't familiar with this display. It says you can easily view ride metrics such as speed, pedal assist, battery capacity, blah, blah, blah. It says with app sync. You can also, so they have an app for their bikes, so you can, looks like adjust things. Oh, you can change your class rating. So you can change the class rating from your phone. Pretty cool, as long as you can still do it without your phone. I've tested a few bikes where they require a phone to do like updates and things, and I don't like it at all. I like to be able to do things at the push of a button without trying to connect through Bluetooth or something in case the app has problems, which sometimes they do. So I'll have to do a little testing on that, but so far that sounds good. It says you can also plug it in via USB cable. I assume that's just for charging. It's not very clear on that. So one more thing I got to show you before I take this thing for a spin is this right here. So let me turn the bike on. There we go. I think I waited too long to get going. Check this out. I don't know if you can actually see this on camera. That is a brake light, tail light. Actually functions when you pull the brakes, but it's integrated into the frame. And it's pretty slick that way. So, like I said, I think they thought through a lot of the little details on this bike. The fenders look good. The paint job looks great. It's just a really clean looking, good looking bike. Display, it's super bright and sunny out right now. So I would say it's just average as far as what I can see. Pedal assist 0 through 5. We've got a battery percentage, miles per hour, trip, average speed, max speed. Ooh, calories burnt. I'm not sure how they calculate that with this bike because it has a cadence sensor, it looks like. That doesn't really make sense to me, but it's on there. This is what I've never seen. Trip CO2 reduced, trip trees saved. So you can see how many trees you've saved based on how much you've ridden your e-bike. That is a first. I have never seen that. It actually shows you how much CO2 you've saved and how many trees you saved while you're riding your bike. That's hilarious. All right, that's the step over, but this is a step through bike. That's not how to get on a step through bike. You must step through, which it has a very low step through. Some bikes, you know, like the Saber I sell, have a second bar here for strength. This one has a fatter frame, but not a second bar. So very nice low step through. Pretty easy to get on here. So I think as far as the step through goes, works great. Let's go take it for a spin. I'm in pedal assist 0, and throttle doesn't do anything in 0. Let's turn it to 1. Power feels decent so far. There's the throttle. So it's got kind of a slow start function, not super slow, but it eases the power on. I got to go up the hill. No pedaling from a stop. Let's see what it does. It's taken off. Now I was in pedal assist 1. Don't worry, I'll come back. I don't know if the pedal assist settings are tied to the throttle, but I'm going to find out right now. And it doesn't feel like it. Oh yeah, it's got some power. It's got an 8-speed Shimano trigger shifter. Shifts pretty smooth, pretty standard stuff there, other than it's a cassette. Let's check the power. Sorry, I'm running away from you guys. Maybe the wine with me, but all right. First impressions on the motor is that it feels pretty good. Controller, probably the limiting factor. Again, I haven't adjusted any of the settings. I know it could go up to 28 miles an hour, at least based on what I read there. So feels good going up the hill. It feels like a proper 750 watt bike. The battery is not 100% charged for the review, so I might get a little more out of it. But I would say it feels like a good 750 watt, 1000 watt peak, 1100 watt peak. I believe that. Feels really nice. I don't think, you know, if you're looking for a hub motor bike, and, you know, I don't think you're going to be disappointed with the power that this particular bike has. If you want more, usually you're going to have to go for, you know, 1000 watt mid drive type thing to get more than this. But this is good. I would not be disappointed with this bike. I'm a little sad to give it away, honestly. But let's go ride it up the hill one more time and give some thoughts on these brakes here. Which hopefully that gives you an idea. Full throttle brakes. I mean, it locks things up right away. I haven't even tried to break them in or anything. So I'm going to say that I am happy with the brakes. I've never heard of them, but they perform really well, actually. They look like 180 millimeter rotors, even though I've never seen that style. They don't even have any printing on them. Usually there's a brand name or a size or something. There's not a mark whatsoever that I can see, but they work really good, actually. So no name brakes. not only pass, but work really well. So let's see what questions you guys have, because I want to know, what do you think about this bike? What are your thoughts? What are your questions about the specs? If you want me to get some close-ups on something, I will. Let's take a look. Somebody mentioned a coupon code, blah, 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 blah. 200, somebody said 200 meter rotors. Pretty sure they're not 200 meters. Could they be 200 millimeters? That's possible, I guess. They're such an odd design, it's almost hard for me to tell by looking at them. Let's check their website, or somebody confirm, is that actually 200 millimeters? Edward says different sizes. What size is that? So yes, there are two different sizes for the step through. There's one they call a small/medium, and there's a medium/large. This is the medium/large size. And once again, if you don't know from watching other videos, I'm about 5'10", fits me very comfortably, really easy to get on and off. The step through is really low. So great bike for my height. And let's see, Dale's talking about the brakes. There we go. Bengal Airs 3 hydraulic disc brakes, 180 millimeter rotors. Thank you for confirming that. I appreciate it. Let's see. And Ricky Bobby says, I love how manufacturers integrating components into the frame these days. For this one, I agree. Sometimes I don't like it because then you get odd things that like you can't easily fix or repair. You know, an example would be if you ever broke that tail light, like you got to get one from them to replace it, but it looks so good. They really did a good job with that. I'm impressed. I like it. So I'm not going to give them any flack for that on this bike, because the whole package is really nice. I only have the two, they're not even gripes or complaints about it, but the only two things I see that I guess I would say they're not up to par to the rest of the bike. Like the whole bike looks excellent for the price. And then you get to that front bolt-on wheel that has a, not to be confused with Bolton, a bolted on wheel with a rim that actually doesn't match the rear rim. So, but you know, like I said, I could live with that. Some people might be like, the rims don't match. That's weird. Some of you might not even notice because they're both black. You could probably have the bike for 2 weeks before you even saw it. Yes, they are metal fenders. That is correct. Somebody is putting a lot of abbreviations in the chat and I don't understand what they're saying. So don't do that. Now, I got to say, before we wrap up this review, I've got a couple more things to share with you. Keep in mind that last week I did a review on the Hemingway bike and we are giving it away. The giveaway is going on right now. So if you are on our email list, you would have gotten a notification about that already. If you go check out that video, once again, that's the Hemingway that we released last Friday, a review of. There is a link in the description to the giveaway page. You can also just go to boltonebikes.com and you can get on our email list that way. So you can be notified of future giveaways, which I would highly recommend doing because I'm giving away this bike over here. This one, this guy right there. This beautiful Aventon bike, which I'm really starting to like, is going to be a giveaway bike. I don't know how we're going to give it away yet. We're actually going to try and be a little creative and come up with some different ways to give away bikes. So maybe we won't do a random online King Sumo giveaway. That's the app software we've been using. We might do something a little bit different. We may have some contests come up. We may have some video submission type things. So just all things to be aware of for bike giveaways. Make sure you go sign up for our email list so you can see how to enter. So not going to give you giveaway details on this one yet because we have that Hemingway bike being given away already, and that hasn't wrapped up quite yet. I think we have that scheduled to end on like Monday or something. We're going to pick somebody at random. If you're local, you can pick up the bike. If you're not local, then of course we will ship it to you. But my final thoughts on this, again, looks great. Frame is really well made. Love the paint scheme. Brakes are excellent, I would say. They really do feel good. And the motor is a great 1,000-watt Bafang. Feels like most of the other 750-watt bikes that are actually 750-watt bikes. Not to name any names, but you guys know what I'm talking about. There's some other bikes that say they're 750 and they just pale in comparison to the power that this has. So if you're looking at a bike that's like $1,600 and this is, you know, $1,800, with the addition of the more powerful motor, the nice rack it's got on the front there, the paint job, the slightly bigger battery, the really good hydraulic brakes I've never heard of, it's worth the extra $200-300 to spend it on this, guys. Just trust me on that. I've seen a lot of bikes and they're doing a good job with this one. This is one of those bikes where I would consider actually carrying it in my store because I like bikes that are good quality, that have good components, and that perform better than expected. And I'm pleasantly surprised with that one. So that's what it is. Rich says, nice giveaway bike mounting for a rear rack. I haven't looked at their website to see if they offer one. Maybe somebody else knows the answer to that. But it does look like it has mounting spots on the bike for it. So yes, if they don't offer one, you could get a generic rack from like Ibera or some other company. It would certainly fit on the bike. There's 2 mounting bolts I can see up at the top. There's mounting bolts down. Well, there's the mounting bolts right where the fender goes. It looks like there's a couple holes above that. So I think that would work just fine. Yeah, I might have to go ride this around a bit more and see if I can find another problem and report back. Almost seems a little too good, but looks great. I really like it. Great job, guys. Aventon, somebody please correct me on that. Is it the first one or the second one? Is it Aventon or Aventon? I obviously need to go watch more of those videos of theirs. I've read their website, looked at their bikes, communicated with them by email, all sorts of stuff, but I just haven't actually pronounced it. Sam asks, are you going to compare the bike to any of its competitors? I'm going to put your question up on screen. Okay. Sure, why not? Let's do it right now. Somebody name a competitor. I'm not going to choose. Name a competing bike to this in the chat. You tell me what competing bike you're thinking of, and if it's a bike I've seen in person or am familiar with, I will tell you how they compare. If you have a specific question, go ahead and ask it, and I will answer. So let's hear it in the chat. John Deere is not a bicycle. That is a tractor. I'm very familiar with those. I've driven a lot of John Deeres, believe it or not. But no, that's not it. I see Hemingway. This is a better bike. The Hemingway is a good buy. It was a really good buy when they were under that $1,500 price point. Now that they're up a little higher, they're not as competitive. Still not bad, but quality-wise, I think the Hemingway might have a slightly bigger battery, but it's got mechanical brakes and just overall fit and finish on this just big step up from a Hemingway bike. So there's my thought on that one. Harley Davidson. I haven't actually, believe it or not, ridden any of the Harley Davidson bikes, so I don't know. I clicked on that comment that says Espen. Sorry, I don't know that bike. Radwagon is a cargo bike, so not really a good comparison, I would say. This is not a cargo bike. So Radwagon, not as much power by far. Mechanical brakes, just, you know, not as good. Electric, here we go. Here's a good one. Jerry says electric bike company Model R. That is a great comparison because that was a really good looking bike. I was very pleased with that when I reviewed it. Here's what I'm going to say. This does seem very comparable to the electric bike company Model R. Fit and finish, paint job, the cool colors, the quality of the brakes, the power, actually does seem very comparable. I'd have to ride the bike side by side to see which one I might like better for that specific circumstance. But off the top of my head, I'm gonna say very similar, and this bike cost a lot less. So you have more customization options with the electric bike company. You can pick the paint color, you can pick the fender. So if you want to customize it, you may want to spend the extra money for that. But if you like the colors that they offer, great buy right here. Rad Rover. And see, I knew somebody was going to ask it. Sam, you were the one that first said compare it to other bikes. To be honest, they asked if I would compare it to a Rad Rover. I have a Rad Rover here. I'm not going to bring it on camera and like ride them side by side. There's like some sort of massive jet taking off right now. This bike cost a couple $100 more, I think, based on the way the prices are right now. Brakes way better. Just no comparison. This bike, once again, right here, way better brakes. Way better power. Power is just, compared to a Rad Rover, there's just better brakes, better power. I think the battery's slightly larger. I didn't bother to check weight, but the Rad Rover's not a lightweight. I don't think this is particularly lightweight either. Fork quality is probably about the same. So I would say if you got the extra money, color display on this one, has the integrated app. 28 miles an hour, just stock if you just adjust some settings. If it was me, I think the bike looks way better and it performs better. So that's kind of a no-brainer. Rogue Jedi. Wait, what is this highlighted comment up here? We have to put this up here. Thank you, Rogue Jedi. I appreciate that. So I'm going to answer your question. Do I need protective gear? What types? If so, I got my bike in the 20. I get my bike the 22nd. Congratulations, whatever bike you're getting. Basically, just own a helmet. Helmet is a great start. Any e-bike, you should always have a helmet. I know I've seen accidents happen, even at slow speeds. If you fall over on an e-bike, even if it's a step through like this, and you hit your head, obviously it's a bad thing. You definitely want a helmet. I had a couple in here the other week that came in for test rides, and they had, I don't know where they got them, but they had some really nice elbow pads, knee pads, and they looked actually really good. So if you just want to be prepared, I mean, they looked really flexible and comfortable. Like when I think of knee pads and elbow pads, I think of the ones like as a kid that they're all hard, and like these look flexible, and I don't know who made them again, but lots of cool stuff out there. So if you really want to be prepared, don't care what anyone else thinks, like go for the elbow pads and knee pads. And then if you crash and go down, gloves. Okay, so me personally, if I'm going on a ride, obviously when I'm test riding, some of you give me flack for not wearing a helmet. And yeah, I should wear a helmet. When I'm actually going for a bike ride, I always have my helmet on, and I typically have gloves on as well. So minimum, if I'm going high speeds, gloves, helmet. That's the minimum. Because I've had crashes when I'm younger, when I skin up my hands, not comfortable. And if you want to go for more than that, knee pads, elbow pads. The couple was in here again. The wife actually crashed like the day after buying those. And she just was like, oh, just like I fell over, and it was just like a little cushion. And, the one place she didn't have a pad on was like the side of her hip or something. It had a bruise there. But she said like her knees, arms, elbows, everything else was just like perfectly fine. And looks like we got another comment here that's highlighted. Sam, thank you for helping me decide with the comparison. How do we get back to this? I'm trying to put your comment up on the screen, Sam, but my computer isn't cooperating. And there's a lot of comments on here. There we go. You are welcome. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to compare some of those bikes. Joel, I see your comment there about those pads. The answer to that is yes, some padded cycling shorts for those long rides are a good idea too, for different reasons. How loud were the tires? Not that loud. Same as any other fat bike tires that has some tread. They're going to make some noise when you're moving fast. I personally like that. And I don't have a helmet that I recommend specifically. I've got one that I bought a few years ago. It's probably getting close to retirement age that I use during the summertime. It's the one with the cool visor that comes down, is integrated into the helmet. And every time I wear it in a video, I almost cringe because I know somebody's going to ask me, where did I get that helmet? And I can't find it anymore. So I'm sorry that I don't have a good helmet recommendation. There's a lot of good brands out there. I'm going to have to look around soon because I'm about due to replace my summer helmet. I have a snowboarding style helmet I use in the winter time because it keeps my face warm. But lots of good helmets out there. But thank you guys very much for all the questions. Sorry I couldn't get to all of those, but I really do appreciate all of them. I appreciate you guys being on here. Yeah, final thoughts. This bike I'm impressed with. Great buy for the price. Looks like they're in stock. You know, I'd love to sell everybody a Bolton e-bike, of course, but I know there's other great models out there. I want to make sure that you guys know about them. So thank you very much. Keith, is that a proprietary battery? I don't know the answer to that question. I'm going to have to pull it out. So I may have to do a follow-up video of some sort on this bike later to answer some more of these questions. But I will definitely look into those things. Thank you very much, Rich. Man, you guys being very generous today. This does not help your chances of winning the bike, just so you know. I do appreciate it. Those giveaways are random. Once again, make sure, well, hit that subscribe button, of course, if you're watching this video for the first time. If you've never been here before on Bolton e-bikes YouTube channel, hit that like button on this video, and make sure to go to our website, sign up for our email list so you can know what we're going to do to give away this bike, because we're going to give it away. I haven't decided how to give it away yet, but we're going to do it. And there's a very good chance one of you is going to win it, be the new owner of this thing for free. So looking forward to that. Excited about it. Also, make sure you come back. We have a lot more videos coming out this month, a giveaway, at least one every single week. Once again, I appreciate all of you, and I will see you guys. I will leave with Philip's comment. I agree that it's a good bang for the buck. Best? I don't know. There's a lot of options out there, but it is a good one. Definitely high on the list. So thanks again. See all of you guys in another video. Goodbye. I'm ending the broadcast.